So, did I say that dream yet? We come to you with an interruption from our regularly scheduled program. So I basically have a lot of dreams I haven't gotten to yet. I have like 2 days of dreams, but I've got a lot of overtime, and it's when I get home I have to sleep. But today I made an exception because a prophecy made like 20 years ago came true. Well, it rang in my head, and that was my pastor saying, well, don't you want to know your wife? And this pastor kind of got me started on this adventure. He gave me like 40 prophecies that slowly came true in the last 10 years. Anyways, let's see, what have I been talking about lately? I turned the light off and the light back on because I didn't want to overwhelm her, right? So I turned the light off, but it turned back on. So that's significant because it seems like she's pieced together part of the prophetic event that's kind of happening, the supernatural event, but not all of it. And then the power coming on. So this dream is being brought to life. It's lighting up, especially with the Christmas theme. And then in my other dream, right, where do we meet? We meet at church. And we attend the Christmas Eve service. So this is all coming together on Christmas, which is, the conception date of Christ, all hail the newborn King. And with Christ, also the miracles came to earth, right? Christ gave the apostles the miracles, and they gave them to their disciples. And then I'm not sure what happened. We lost him, but I'm bringing him back. I can give the miracles out. And God's talking about the great reset, right? And the term reset comes from resetting a gem. And that would take place on a wedding ring, right? Because the church is the bride of Christ. Similar to the way we have brides and spouses on earth, God has, we're his bride, where the church is, married to Christ, married to heaven. And, okay, so to kind of jump forward and jump backwards, right? So since August, I've been talking about dreams that I've been having regarding a potential wife, because it's like always, even though God is doing something with her in mind, she gets the ultimate say. So this isn't me trying to put pressure if you're kind of new to Christianity, but when God does something miraculous, it's not like you're really against it. Like if you wanted sushi for your birthday lunch and then to go to Disneyland, and then God set up sushi and then like a Disney World trip, you're not going to be upset. So none of this is being forced. And that's important, because everything with heaven is very consensual when it comes to miracles and gifts and love and dreams. But now it's time to do some revealing. Okay, so what have we been talking about? It's all coming down to Christmas, right? I keep feeling I'm going to see her on Christmas Eve, and I keep feeling that we're going to spend Christmas together. And then to be diligent, right? So this whole time I'm saying until Christmas happens, the game is still afoot. Like things are still happening. And if Christmas passes and I don't meet her, because God said you will walk and talk with her, which is good, because if he only said I will walk with her, I would think, okay, there could be a bunch of other people around, like her friends, because I'd like to talk to her, us too. And then if he had just said you're going to talk with her, I'd say, oh, okay, so over the telephone, that doesn't sound like a great ending to a story. And then God said, just look to Christmas, because he didn't want me to lose hope, because I like that would have been a long time. But I told myself, I'll hang in this until God says it's going to be someone else. And then, so two of my most recent dreams that I'll go more into detail when I can listen to the recording because I need to go to bed. One of them, there were these shadowy kind of construction guys in the background building like pallets, like work. And so I was looking at that, okay, and I was like, okay, that reminds me of my job. So whatever these shadows are, these like deep shadows, because the shadows like stretch far and then up onto like a garage door of a back neighbor. I went, okay, so this is probably me figuring out what's going on when I'm at work. And so I'm at work, and then I realize all these different dreams I'm having. Normally when there's spiritual warfare, I like fight it head on, but it seems like the spiritual warfare is keeping us from coming together, me and this potential wife that God has talked about. And so I'm like, well, that makes sense. Since they're not fighting me and they're just getting in my way, I'm not as attuned to just looking for people blocking me. I normally look for malice, for violence, for cruelty, for violence, for fights, for sabotage. I look for warfare. I'm very sensitive to spiritual warfare, and I pray against that. And so I got these dreams, and I'm like, okay. So I'm telling my friend at work, like, yeah, I'm praying against these spirits trying to keep me and my future wife apart. So I'm praying. I'm like, whoa, they've really been working hard. And I pray again, and I pray again. I prayed like 5 times before it started to loosen. So I prayed a couple more times, and I felt some good change and some lessening of the spirits being in our way. Because I had the one dream where they lit a fuse. I don't know if I talked about that yet. I need to keep moving forward. And trying to destroy our house. And the person in the house, the spirit, which was like the Holy Spirit, like fought them off with a heavy machine gun. I apologize if this is kind of all over the place, but so building a house. Oh yeah, so in one of the dreams, I'm cleaning my bathroom. Like I'm really scrubbing the bathtub, and I'm like making sure it's really clean, and I'm really putting oomph into it. And then the person I live with, because I live in his house, his mom's house, so he's going to college, and I work, and it's a great deal. He gets a roommate. His mom doesn't have to pay as much bills. It's a nice house. He's clean. He's like a really good guy. He was cleaning too, and really, really trying. And so eventually I talked to him, and I go, hey, I had this dream, I'm going to see her by Christmas, and she's going to come over. And I know we don't have any proof yet, but like I can feel that she's going to like come over on Christmas Eve and stay over until Christmas. And then I was cleaning and you were cleaning. So I'm not saying you have to clean, but get the house to where you're happy with it for if she comes over. And he goes, okay, like I'll believe it when I see it, but sure. And I was so happy because it was just a wonderful, loving gesture. It was a real gift. He was just like, okay, like, And I was like, is it okay if she comes over during Christmas? And he was like, man, I will never step in the way of you getting the love of your life. I was like, all right, great. And so he just bought it on faith. Well, I did heal his mom. His mom used to have a lot of pain, and then I prayed, and then suddenly she could like clean her car without crying. She could work out without crying. So he's like, man, I believe. Like I don't know to what extent. Like this is really big, but like ride or die. Like I'm there. It's like, all right, cool. Oh yeah, and then at the end of the dream where like the houses were coming together and I saw the shadows, right? Because the cleaning was a separate dream. At the end of that one, I was sitting with her and we were watching the fireworks. So I think we are living together by July 4th, which means we're married by July 4th because I will not live with someone I'm not married to. So that would be cool. Let's see, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So 7 months. That means we'll in 7 months. Now note the timing. So we have together by Christmas, and we have an Independence Day thing, so freedom, and then we have the number 7, which is a perfect number, and then Valentine's Day is about to come into this. Oh, and so as a quick pause, wonderful praise report. There was someone at work, someone came into my section, and she seemed like there was some like rust in her system and emotional system. And I was like, hey, I'm a missionary, and sometimes when I pray for people, they get healed. Do you need prayer for anything? And she goes, oh yeah, my wrist. And I was like, cool, anything else? Insomnia, because sometimes people forget. Oh yeah, back pain. All right, wrist is at a what? She's at 8 out of 10. Back is at a what? 8 out of 10. So I pray for her insomnia, I pray for her, and my gift isn't fully activated. We're in the preview days. So I pray, and I pray, and I pray, and I pray, and I'm giving her a fist bump. Because it's really easy to get people to give fist bumps. Putting your hand on someone's shoulder, and I get her wrist to go from an 8 to a 4 in about 2.5 minutes. So that's really great. Her back went from an 8 to like a 7. So I'm hoping it heals tomorrow. It seems like when I pray for people, they either heal right then, they'll heal in like 30 minutes, or they'll heal the next day. And I have had people, like this one girl had a lot of pain in different parts of her body, like 6s, and it took like 12 to 14 rounds of prayer. And she was really gracious, which was awesome. And then I think after time number 6, like her legs went from 6 to 0. So it was really cool. I was like, let's just keep trying. And I really helped her with an emotional breakthrough. She had a not so great grandpa. And then after that, I gave her the 9 gifts of the Holy Spirit. And she said in the future, she's willing to travel with my group around the world to heal people. And I'll do that once my gift is more, once God's activated it. Because right now, like, I can't heal arthritis. I can't heal people that are nearsighted, but I can do a lot. So that's okay. Because the moment you can start healing people's missing limbs, I'm not going to have privacy anymore. People are all over the world going to be like, hey, Josh, heal my daughter. And that's not bad. And so I need to be grateful for this moment before I'm the center of the universe as we know it. Anyways, proving the existence of God is going to be a great big deal. So I'm going back to work, and then I kind of feel like I should pray for the girl next to her. And I kind of look at her, because you have to, as like a tall man who's broad, you have to be gentle in your approach. You can really scare people, especially me, who was a homeschool kid and very gregarious. Like, I can just come on too strong. And so I said, hey, do you need prayer for anything? Anything hurt? And the second woman said the same thing. She said, yeah, my wrist and my back. And I was like, okay. So I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed, and nothing was really moving. And I prayed, and then her wrist started to heal a little bit. It went from like an 8 to like a 7, and then it stayed a 7, then it went to a 6, and I keep praying, and I go, okay, so I'm feeling some, like, I felt something like stopping water from moving through pipes, like some grit, like some rust from steel. And I said, hey, I don't need to know, but is there something in your past that you're not forgiving? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, okay, you have to forgive it. Like, I know you want to hold on to it for whatever reason, but God is in charge of judging you. You are not in charge of judging you. And God has forgiven you for everything you've done. So when you die and you go to heaven, you and God can talk about what you did or didn't do, but you need to forgive yourself. And I said, you know the golden rule, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated. And she said, yeah. I'm like, okay, that comes from the Bible. It's actually love your neighbor as yourself. And she goes, cool. And I go, but it's actually agape your neighbor as you agape yourself, which is the term for unconditional eternal love. Staying with me? So the verse is, the golden rule in its form that comes from the Bible is, have eternal unconditional love for your neighbor as you have eternal unconditional love for yourself. And that's where we fail a lot. That's where a lot of us have self-esteem issues and spiritual power issues, because we don't think we're deserving or worthy of unconditional eternal love. But that, as Jesus says, is what reality is built on. 2 rules. Have unconditional eternal love for God with all your might. It's like all your strength, might, soul, and mind. It's like everything you got. The second one, have unconditional eternal love for your neighbor and yourself. And that's what we're bad at. That's what we're bad at practicing. That's where our mentality just wavers. That's what keeps us from being a razor blade sharp through reality and owning it. Okay. praise report over. This is gonna be a big deal. So to be polite, I didn't want to mention her name, but this is God's moment and God's miracle as much as it is ours. This is I always tell people it's a 3-player game. You, the person in question, and God. And you always want to remember that because you can talk to God. You can get advice from God. What's the next move from God? I wasn't going to say anything, and I got the idea from heaven. No, declare it. Declare this, because this is God's moment. God is going to bring me and her together and have a fairy tale ending of his own. God is going, sorry, my phone went like battery dying. What? No, you can't chase more squirrels. I just let you out to chase squirrels. If I let you out, I'm not going to let you back in. It's just as much God's moment as it is our own. And God was like, no, don't be quiet. Declare it. People need to know I am mighty. Know I am great. Know I am good. Know I am Jesus. Know this is my holiday, my birthday or conception day. This is all about me. And at the same time, it is my gift, my Christmas gift. Oh, that's really cool. My Christmas gift to you two. The woman that has been showing up in my dreams that I've been talking about since August is Lindsey Stirling. And there it is. Oh, and here, and I gotta get to this part of the story. So here's what happened. I was at work and 2 people at work know I've been dreaming about her, that I've been showing up in her dreams and hearing certain things, and she's been showing up in my dreams. We've been talking a little bit. Talking is tricky because I had to learn to pray to God that he tells her certain things. And I don't think she quite figured it out, but God was kind of helping her, because there was times where she said, I love you. There was times when, well, many more things. So I'll play the video. I guess I'll just play the whole video now.
One that has a history of getting lonely and maybe even a little bit sad at this time of year. So earlier this year, back in February, one of my sisters invited me to spend Christmas with her and her family this year. And I remember when she invited me, my very first thought, oddly, was, I'm gonna have someone this year. I'm gonna have my other half. I'm not gonna be lonely. I remember thinking that was odd, but I've learned to trust my instincts, because usually I'm pretty spot on with those. And so I'm not gonna lie, all through this year I kept thinking I'm gonna meet someone, I'm gonna meet my person this year. However, as the year progressed, that did not happen. I finally just kind of chalked it up to it's fine, I can be wrong. But now that we're at the holidays and I'm seeing everyone with their significant others and their kids, I've had the thought multiple times of I feel so good with myself right now. I feel so whole. And it hit me the other day that actually I don't think I was wrong. I'm sorry I'm getting emotional, but I think that feeling wasn't about me finding the love of my life to fill me up. I think that the person that I was gonna have this year for Christmas, sorry, I think it was me. I know that I'm enough. I am my other half. This season of my life, I have had so much joy in choosing to focus on and the love that is in my life rather than focusing on the love that isn't.
So she kind of bounces around a little bit. I should say you're kind of bouncing around a little bit. The wholeness is good. The wholeness comes from Jesus Christ. But your dreams and callings also come from God and the Holy Spirit. And it's good to hold on to your hope. And when things seem to not be going your way, Lindsey, you can't quit until the day of reckoning, because you just don't know. Because God will use every spare moment in that session to build you up and to grow you and to work you into a place where he can install gifts. So for you, it was like a larger and larger planter, so we could plant larger and larger, I can't see what kind of plants, fruit trees, trees of business and growing and heavenly authority and outpouring of God's skill and wonders upon your life and your heart and your meanings. And so to everyone else, especially those who love her and the people who know me in the future and love me, and especially everyone who loves Jesus and Christmas, if something does go wrong, for example, if I had gotten to Christmas and didn't meet the one God had said, or she didn't and she came to me for advice, I would say, now we talk to God, we don't assume anything, and we find out what went wrong. Did we disobey? Were we being deceived? And then you talk to God until you are satisfied with his answer and you're satisfied with your understanding of it. And that doesn't mean we get what we want, and that doesn't mean we throw a fit. Because whenever you don't get something from heaven, it's because heaven is going to give you something twice as much. And you need to always understand that if God's not doing something, that means he's going to do something great. And oftentimes people have a problem because they're going to get something so great, they have a hard time understanding it. I always tell people the pizza slice story. You ask your dad for a slice of pizza, and your dad, who owns a pizza shop, says, no, aren't you going to hang out with your friends later? And the girl you're dating, I'm going to give you 2 liters of soda, and I'm going to give you 2 whole pizza pies, and then you can go. Don't you dare just ask me for a slice like you're going to share crusts. God has infinite wealth. God has infinite power and infinite knowledge, and we underestimate him a lot, especially when he wants to outpour his generosity. We have this instinct to think in little itsy bitsy bits. So we see Lindsey, and she has this heart for everyone, and that's where her heart always goes first. Like, she wants to outpour her love and then be strong, so that way you can be strong and confide in the strength and kind of radiance that she stands and tries to kind of exalt. And as she continues to mature with Jesus Christ, she will do that exponentially, like, to the power of 4. Where else was I going with that? But on top of that, we've got the 2 dreams, right? To be married, she's mentioned in another video, and to be a mom. You shouldn't stop on your dreams because God put them there. And even with like Sarah and Abraham, that was a big problem because Sarah was past menopause. I think her name was Sarah, but Abraham's wife. And then God said, why are you worried you're past menopause? Like, I am God. Anyways, I could tell more stories, but I want to stay on topic because I can go on and on and on and tangent. So she bounced around a little bit. You bounced around a little bit. And she said in February, her sister invited her to Christmas, and she said she had this feeling she'd be spending Christmas with her other half, the love of her life. Note, what's in February? Valentine's Day. And then, let's see, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. 8? Jubilee? Okay, so February is Valentine's Day, right? And then we have Christmas, which hasn't come yet. But she's assuming it's not happening, and she's getting emotional because it still matters to her. Like, she was hoping. She had this anticipation to meeting the man of her dreams. Sounds so arrogant. Me. But kind of ran out of steam. And I get that. When God told me this in August, the beginning of September, I think he told me in September. Yeah. So that'd be 9. And 9 is 3 times 3. And 3 is God's number. Sorry, I just always look for details because it's what I do. I love it. So I told myself under no circumstance was I going to start to fall apart, because I have Rebecca relying on me because she's trying to find her husband. And then I have this future potentially with Lindsey, so I can't mess up. I have to take everything seriously, and I have to be a soldier. Like, I have to march to this destiny, because if I fall apart, it all falls apart, especially since I'm trying to keep growing my gifts so I can travel around the world and heal the sick. So I'm at work, and what's been going on? I've been, in my last videos, right, because this just happened today, in my last videos, I said, I keep feeling I'm going to see her on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I keep feeling this. And then I have a dream where I'm cleaning and we're putting a lot of oomph into it, right? I would only put oomph into it if I knew this was going to happen. Because at the time I didn't. I was like, I'll clean. But my dream, like, I had a lot of oomph. And then I had that other dream where my roommate was like giddy with excitement. He was like, had this cookie in his mouth. He was like, yeah, oh, cookie, Santa, Christmas, maybe. So I'm sitting at work with my friends, and then all of a sudden that came up, and she said she just knew she was supposed to meet the love of her life, her other half, by Christmas. And she's sad and she's weeping because she feels that it's not going to happen. But God is always going to use this time to make us like a super epic version of himself, and then still deliver. I always tell people it's like an atomic bomb. The whole nation is praying for the war to stop. It doesn't look like it's going to stop. And then all of a sudden we drop the sun. Nothing had ever been seen like that. I think the biggest bomb at the time could like level a house. But anyways, I was going to keep it very quiet, but I felt God be like, no, declare it, for my benefit and glory, and for the world's benefit, because now everyone will see it. The dog wants to go back outside. I'm not letting you go back outside. And then I think this goes back to the other dream. So the light goes on, and then we hear, oh, finally. I might not have told you guys that dream yet. So I think she's going to finally hear this. 19 days till Christmas. I don't know how this is going to play out, but the fact that she and I are both having the same spiritual inclination, her that she'll know me by Christmas, and me that will walk and talk, just look towards Christmas. And I keep feeling that we're going to spend Christmas together, which would also be the wonderful ending of a story. I hope she just doesn't give up faith. So if either of you love me or Lindsey Stirling, Lindsey Stirling, me, JoshuaThaddeaus, or as some of you know me, King Joshua Charming. And I say that because I have the Old Testament spiritual gift of, well, I have them all now. Spiritual gift of the King. Pray for us. Pray that this is just a wonderful life, Christmas ending. I can't think of anything I'd want more. Be great for us, be great for God, be great for Christianity, and be great for you all to see a Christmas miracle, especially now. I love you guys. I love you very much. Merry Christmas. I guess I will upload this, and then I got go to sleep. I think that's it. I think that's everything. Said that. She said by Christmas. And she said, and yeah, I really hope we can show her that dreams do come true. Oh, let's make it funner. I haven't revealed this one yet. When I saw her on stage, I started praying for her that she would have a magnificent husband, because that's what I do to women that I'm attracted to, because I want to be a one-woman man. And I thought, I really hope she has a wonderful husband and a wonderful future, and I really want to be married and have a family. That's my dream. I really want to be a one-woman man for life. And I'm telling God, and I'm saying, I'm not going to tell you exactly what I said, but I said, wow, she's really attractive. And God says, say that out loud. And I go, no, because my friend was next to me and I didn't want to seem like a pig. I go, she's really, I said, she's really sexually attractive, is what I said. God goes, say that out loud. And I'm like, no. So I turned to my friend and I said, she's really attractive. And my friend goes, yeah, she is. And she was wearing a silver skirt. And later, after I had all the visions of her doing like a double uppercut through 2 ceilings. So Lindsey, in case you didn't know, you were trapped in 2 different spiritual boxes to facilitate your training to be a person of spiritual authority. Basically, I really wanted to talk about this later, but if you and I do work out, you would have the 9 gifts of the Holy Spirit. You would become a prophet. You would all of that. So that's why you suffered. That's why everyone in the Bible suffered, is to give us prophetic experience. So that way, when we step into this, you already have the training. And so when the gifts are installed into you, you know deep into the core of yourself how to work spiritually. So that's why everything was not static, the opposite, discord. There's a lot of like static going on. But later, God said, what color was her dress? And I said, no, he said, what color is Cinderella's dress? Cinderella was, the movie Cinderella kind of taught me how to be a man, because she was kind and patient, and she solved her problems by being kind and patient. So I said, oh, she's a wonderful woman, and she's someone I would like to have in my heart as a man, so I should be kind and patient and solve my problems with kindness and patience. And so I've always esteemed to have Cinderella. And God goes, what color was her dress? Cinderella's. And I say, well, most people think it's blue because of the pictures, but actually in the movie, in the original movie, it's silver. And he goes, what color was Lindsey's dress? I said, silver. And he goes, I did that for you. I was like, wow. So, of course, Lindsey, I serve at the pleasure of the Most High God. All decisions are consensual. Nothing is being forced. I had a dream that if Lindsey said no, there was 9 action figures, and I could choose one of them. And so if she says no, there's someone else, because, you know, my calling, my dream is to be married, and God will facilitate that. And if she chooses not to, I will be sad and then optimistic, because what does it say in the Bible? Every good and perfect thing comes from God. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all on this journey. I guess we'll see what happens. 19 days till Christmas.